Ayan, okay? So we have here the numerical descriptive measure. So again, we recall, diba, there are two fields of statistics. We have the descriptive statistics and the inferential. So when we say descriptive, from the root word describe, okay, this covers all the measures, methods, procedures in describing your respondents or your subject of interest. Okay, so for this particular for this particular topic, okay, we consider the descriptive measures as measures in describing your respondents or your subject of interest. And when we say numerical descriptive measures, this contains four categories or classification. Okay, we have the measures of location, dispersion, skewness, and kurtosis. Okay, wait lang. Kung may mga concerns, pwede naman pong i-PM sa FB kasi hindi ko nakikita dito pag naka-screen share po ako. Yan na lang po sa FB. Okay. So when we say, yung pinaka-familiar po natin ng descriptive measures are of course the mean, median, and mode. Okay? We have the mean, median, and mode. Where do you think those measures fall? Under ba siya sa location, dispersion, skewness, or kurtosis?
Location po, ma'am.
Yan. Okay. So under po siya sa measures of location, specifically under the central tendency. Okay. So let's define all this for measures. So let's start with your central tendency. So take note, your measures of central tendency fall under measures of location. So location, pag nakuha na natin value, malalaman natin kung saan siya located. And under the central tendency, okay, pag kinuha daw natin mean, median, and mode, where do you think are these located in your data? Nasa center. Kaya nga central tendency. Okay? Okay, so let's define first the meaning of mean. Okay, so ano ibig sabihin ng mean? Pag sinabi natin mean, this is an interval statistic. So let us recall the four levels of measurement. Ang pinakamababang level of measurement is the nominal. This is followed by ordinal. The first two levels, nominal and ordinal, are considered as qualitative. And then yung susunod po is interval and ratio, those are considered as quantitative. Pag sinabi natin interval statistics, sabi dito, that is your mean. Okay, pag sinabi natin interval, your data is in at least interval scale. So, kasama po doon yung ratio. So, interval sa ratio. Kasi di ba hierarchy yung level natin from lowest, nominal, ordinal, interval, tapos ratio. So, each value contributes to the final result. Although, ang mean natin, this is affected by extreme values. Another term, ano po yung another term sa extreme values? Kung may background na po tayo sa statistics. Ano po yung another?
Outliers, ma'am?
Yan. Okay. So, pwede rin natin siyang tawagin na outliers. Okay. So, sabi daw, pag yung data natin merong extreme value or outliers, most likely, pag nag-compute tayo ng mean, hindi siya magfo-fall sa center. Kasi nga, this affects the value of the mean. Kaya, pag yung data natin, if your data is not normally distributed, ibig sabihin po ng not normally distributed, meron ka mga outliers or extreme value doon. We do not use the mean to describe your data. Kasi most likely, it will not fall in the middle. Usually po kasi, ang implication yan, pag kumuha tayo ng mean, ang bawat value kang data nindo, harani duman sa mean. Pero pag may extreme value kita, that will not be interpreted in that way. Okay? Bako yan, magiging aro kaya na kada value ngayon harani dai. Most likely, pwedeng si minta harani duman sa hababa ang nasa may left, kung i-arrange siya from lowest to highest, pwedeng harani siya duman sa lowest value o pwedeng harani siya duman sa highest value. So we do not use the mean if we have the presence of extreme value. Okay. Anong gagamitin namin naman pag may extreme value? So, yan po papasok yung median. Okay? So, your median is an ordinal statistics. Ibig sabihin, your data must be in at least ordinal scale. So, pag at least ordinal, kaibanan po dyan si interval saka ratio. So, anong ibig sabihin ng median? That's the center value or the middle value. Ang ginagamit natin ang median to describe your data na may presence of extreme value. So, ibig sabihin, pag may mga outliers tayo, di ba, sabi ko kanina, when you have your outliers, you don't use the mean to describe your data. Instead, we use the median. Bakit median? Kasi kahit na may extremely low ka or may extremely high value ka, yung center value mo, di yan mabago. Pero may yan yaon sa tahaw. Okay? So, we use the median instead. Kaya, kung pag dumating na tayo sa inferential statistics, you will notice na pag parametric method, ang parametric method class, ginagamit siya to compare mean of the different groups of data. Kasi ang assumption doon, wala kayong extreme value. Whereas pag non-parametric method, ang non-parametric method naman, kino-compare natin dyan yun mga median. Kasi ang assumption natin, hindi normally distributed ang data natin. So, pwedeng may presence of extreme value. So, yun po yung kaibahan doon. Okay, so let's move. Pag mode naman, this is the value with the highest frequency. Sabi dito, this is a nominal statistic. So, ibig sabihin, pag at least nominal, okay, kahit nominal yung data natin, pwede natin makuha yung mode. For example, dito sa class, pag alamin ko ano ba yung modal gender, ibig sabihin ng modal gender, ano ba yung karamihan sa klase natin, lalaki ba or babae? So you will notice na kadaklan ngaya, majority babae. So gender is a nominal variable. So it's possible for us to get your mode if your data is in at least nominal. Doon naman sa median, pag sinabi natin ordinal, kunwari sa mga position ngaya, sa mga rank, pwede mong makuha yung middle rank dyan. So, given na ang rank natin is, di ba, ang rank natin hindi naman siya quantitative, it's qualitative. Ayan. So, ibig sabihin po, ang mean natin, makukuha lang natin siya pag quantitative ang data. Whereas, pag qualitative, it's either the median or the mode. Okay, may questions po? Yung computations po, later na lang. Okay. Okay, so ito po yung sinasabi natin. Okay, so if you will be looking at these 3 sets of data, yung first set of data po natin, you will notice na meron tayong 54. So having these 6 values here, yung 54 yung medyo nalalayo dun sa 5. So parang meron tayong extremely low value here. Although it's not very extreme naman, pero you have an outlier. So kung kukunin natin mean, 83.5, ilolocate natin siya dito sa data. Ang 83.5 po, mayo man siya sa tahaw. Di siya malolocate sa tahaw. Harani siya, the 83.5 is in between 54 and 88. Okay, so it's not at the center. So pinaka-appropriate po na gamitin natin dito to describe data A is your median, having this 54 as an extremely low value. Okay, moving on, sa data B naman, you will notice na meron tayong itong 100. So you have an extremely high value here. Again, if you compute for the mean, which is 84, your 84 is not in the middle. It's between 82 and 100. So again, we make use of the median to describe data B. And then you have data C. This time, okay, wala tayong extreme value dito. So if you compute for the mean, which is 88.3, it is located in the middle. It's between 87 and 89. So maganda na pag sinabi natin the average score of, let's say, section C is 88.3. So mag-iisip tayo, bawat estudyante, harani lang sa 88 C score. Okay? Ayan. Okay, so I want you to look at the value of your mode. If you look at the value of your mode sa data A, ang mode natin is 89. Bakit po 89? Kasi 89 appeared twice, the rest once lang. So yung observation with the highest frequency, that's your mode. Ganon din sa data B, your data B, ang 80 po saka 81 appeared twice. So meron tayong dalawang mode. So hindi unique ang mode. It could be more than one. Okay, suppose class sa data B, may tatlo tayong 80, dalawang 81. Ano po yung mode natin? Tatlong 80, dalawang 81. Ano po yung mode natin sa data B? If you have 380 and then dalawang 81.
80 po.
Okay, it's 80. Kasi may mga iba kaya ilalagay 80, tapos appeared thrice, tapos maglalagay pa 81, appeared twice. Hindi po. Dapat it should be the value with the highest frequency. Okay, so yung may pinakamaraming beses na ulit. So that's gonna be 80. Okay? And then we have data C. Tingnan natin sa data C, walang naulit. So ilalagay po natin none or pwede natin ilagay no mode. Hindi po tayo pwede maglagay ng 0. Okay? Kasi pag naglagay po tayo ng 0, ibig sabihin yan, may 0 kayo sa raw data. Okay? So, it's either none or no mode. Okay? Ayan. Ma'am, paano po namin malalaman kung extreme value yon or mayroon outlier sa data natin? Kunwari, napakarami na nating data, di ba? Tapos, hindi natin alam kung how low is low and how high is high para ma-consider siya as extreme value. Okay, meron po tayong test of normality. Meron tayong ginagamit na test to determine if your data is normally distributed or not. If your data is normally distributed, ibig sabihin po, wala tayong extreme value, walang outlier. So we have 3 tests, may Anderson, may Kolmogorov, may Shapiro. Ano po yung difference ng tatlo? Ang first two, yung Anderson sa Kolmogorov, this is ideal pag ang sample size po natin is greater than 50. Okay? Pag less than 50, ang ginagamit natin dyan is Shapiro. Okay. Okay, so how do we know na normally distributed? Pag yung p-value or yung ibibigay na p-value ng Anderson, Kolmogorov, or Shapiro is greater than 0.05, pag mas mataas po sa 0.05, ang conclusion po niyan, your data is normally distributed. Otherwise, it's not normal. Okay, so I'll be giving you a copy of this PowerPoint. This will be demonstrated also later, yung paggamit po natin ng Shapiro. Okay, ano yung implication pag data is normally distributed? Ibig sabihin, pag nag-inferential analysis po kita, ang gagamitin dyan is the parametric test or parametric method. And for the test of homogeneity of variances, ang gagamitin natin dyan are Bartlett's or F-test. Mas popular si Bartlett. Pero pag ang data po natin is not normal, ang ginagamit po natin sa homogeneity of variances is the Levene's test. Okay, so you recall your diagnostic exam kasi parang binigay ko tong question on Levene's test. Ayan. Okay, so aside from the central tendency, measures of location, meron din po tayong measures of dispersion. Okay. So, sabihin natin, ma'am, bakit may dispersion pa? Hindi pa ba enough yung mean, median, and mode to describe our data? Okay. Ang mean, median, and mode class, appropriate lang siya pag meron kayong one set of data, one group of data. But if you are now comparing two or more groups of data, minsan, yung mean, median, and mode, hindi na siya enough. Okay. Especially if you want to know which among the groups is more homogeneous, more stable, more consistent. Okay, take note of these 3. Your measures of dispersion determines homogeneity, stability, and consistency. And we apply the rule. The lower the value, the more homogeneous, more stable, more consistent. Okay? So, ano-ano po yung measures of dispersion? So, first we have the range. Among the 4 measures, actually, itong dalawa ang di natin masyadong ginagamit for interpretation, yung range sa variance. Ang range kasi, all you have to do is just get the difference of the highest and then the lowest value, and then you ignore the values in between. Ang variance naman, this is obtained when you are getting the standard deviation because the square root of the variance is the standard deviation. So, importante yung variance pero hindi siya masyadong ini-interpret. So, ang ini-interpret po sa measures of dispersion is either the standard deviation or the coefficient of variation. Ayan. Ano pong kaibahan ng dalawa? If you are comparing 2 or more groups of data with the same units of measurement, ang gagamitin po natin dyan is the standard deviation. For example, gusto nating malaman alin dito sa dalawang section ang mas consistent ngayon sa performance sa exam, sa midterms exam? Is it section A or section B? Ang data na available natin sa dalawa is the stat exam. Stat exam ng section A, stat exam din ng section B. So, ang basis natin is pareho. Same unit of measurement. So, all you have to do is compute. Kung scores man po yun sa midterms exam, all you have to do is obtain their standard deviation. Ang may mas mababa po doon na standard deviation, yun po ang mas consistent. Kasi diba we have the rule here, the lower the value, the better. So the lower the value, more homogeneous, more stable, and more consistent. Ayan. We use the standard deviation. What about coefficient of variation? For example, again, you're comparing 2 groups of data. Si Saro ngaya, stat exam, pero si Sarong grupo ngaya, di pa pala nag-exam sa stat, pero nakapag-exam na ngaya sinda, let's say, sa science. magkaiba ang basihan pero pwede nyo pa rin bang malaman kung alin sa duwang klase ang consistent sa academic performance? Pwede pa rin. This time, you're going to compute for the coefficient of variation. So, si coefficient of variation kang stat exam and coefficient of variation kang science exam. Okay? Tapos, again, we apply the rule, the lower the value, more consistent. Ayan. So, standard deviation, same unit of measurement, coefficient of variation, different units of measurement. Ayan. So, let's have a simple analysis of the measures of dispersion. Suppose you have two workers, A and B, doing the same job, showed the following results over a long period. So, ang mean time na natatapos ni worker A, ang job is 5 hours, ganun din si worker B. But they have different standard deviation. Okay, who appears to be more consistent in performance? Si worker A or si worker B po? Mas consistent.
Worker A po.
A po.
Okay, si worker A because?
Mas lower yun.
Word.
Lower po.
Yan, lower standard deviation. So, the lower the value, more consistent. Okay, what about this one? Who appears to be more efficient from an overall point of view? More efficient from an overall point of view. Okay, when we say efficient, efficiency means you can finish the task in lesser time. Sige po, is it worker A or worker B?
A po.
Okay, may nagsagot na worker A. What about yung iba? Sorry, hindi ako makakatawag kasi pag nag-screen share ako, hindi ko nakikita yung mga participants. Sige, who else? Sige, sino pang pwedeng sumagot? May iba pa bang sagot? So, ang assumption ko would be everyone agrees now it's worker A. Okay, it's actually both. Okay, bakit both? Kasi ang basis natin would be the mean time. Take note, ang measures of dispersion, specifically standard deviation, is a measure of homogeneity, consistency, and stability. It's not a measure of efficiency. Okay, so we base it now on the mean time. Kasi, di ba, efficiency is defined as finishing the task in lesser time. So, it's both. Okay. What about this one? Who appears to be more consistent in performance? Is it worker A or worker B?
B po.
Okay, sige. May iba pa pong sagot? Okay, some says both. Okay, it's actually both. Kasi pareho po ang value ng standard deviation. So, pareho po silang consistent. And then, who appears to be more efficient from an overall point of view? Okay. Sige po. It's
B po. B po.
okay. So, this time,
B
it's
po.
worker B. Yan, okay. So, it's worker B kasi it can finish the task in lesser time. Pero there are other ways to determine naman efficiency. Pero for this data, we base it on the mean time. Okay, so this is a simple analysis of your mean and your standard deviation. Okay, so that's measure of dispersion. Okay. Actually, class, sa mga profiling, sa mga published journals, madalas diyan pa nagpo-profiling ang ginagamit mean saka standard deviation. Di masyadong ginagamit ang median, ang mode, minimum saka maximum. Although I've seen some sa mga medical sciences, ugasin da mga minimum, maximum tapos mode. Okay? So pwede kasi ang reason niyan kung bakit hindi na-include iba kasi ang nasasanay ang researcher na mean saka standard deviation or pwedeng hindi sila masyadong familiar yun ng other measures of descriptive measures. So these are the commonly used. Okay, so usually pag may nagpapa-consult sa akin and then profiling yun, isa sa mga objectives is the profiling, hindi lang mean saka standard deviation ang sinasuggest ko. Tinalagyan ko down, kunin mo pa yung median, kunin mo yung mode, kunin mo yung minimum, lowest value, kunin mo yung maximum, highest value. Especially pag kunwari ang isa sa mga variables niyo is age. Pinaka-importante, sino yung youngest participant mo, sino yung oldest participant mo. Okay, that's why I include minimum, maximum, other than the mean and the standard deviation. Okay. And of course, importante din na i-subject natin sa test of normality, especially if one of the objectives of your study is to conduct inferential statistics if you will be using either the parametric or non-parametric. It is important to know if your data is normally distributed or not. Okay? Okay, so suppose you have this one. Okay. Actually, may dinagdag pala ako, yung 90th percentile. For example, you have this. Ayan. So usually, di ba, how do we interpret? Pag kumuha na tayo ng value, later na lang ng computation, ano ko muna kung paano nag-interpret. Very simple lang kasi you'll be doing this later. So when you interpret, sometimes we make use of the word mean, pero madalas ang ginagamit to interpret the mean is we make use of the term average. Okay, so you say the average test score of the class is 28. Ibig sabihin, pwede kasi yan na maging basis ninyo to determine sino yung mga above average tapos below average. Usually, pag sinabi natin above average, ang implication kaya niyan sa education, pag above average, mga fast learners, tapos below average nga si mga low learners. Okay? Yan. So, the average test score of the class is 20. Median, half of the class scored less than 24.5, although it's not an actual score. So, pwede natin tong, ang median kaya class, pwede siya maging estimated value, pwede siya maging actual value. So, in this case, is an estimated value. Kasi nga, it's 24.5. So, you just say half of the class scored greater than, say, pwedeng 24 or 25. Okay? Yeah, so median because 50% of the score, median, since nasa middle value siya, it divides your class or group of respondents into two. And then your mode, importante po na you mention the number. Okay, so seldom lang natin ginagamit yung word na majority. Majority ngayon of the score is 24. Kasi pag sinabi po nating majority, numerically, how do you interpret po majority? Pag sinabi natin majority, kunwari itong score na to, if I use the word majority of the class got 24, ano yung magiging understanding natin? Okay, can I use the word majority of the score got 24 kasi yun ang mode? Sige, let's analyze the word majority. Sino yung mga English, dito? English major. Pag sinabi pong majority, ano ibig sabihin? Pag numerically. So, kunin natin insights ng mga MAED in English. Okay, do I still have my class with me? Okay, sige. Kasi binuksan lang talaga ng audio. Oh.
Ma'am,
sige pa.
Pag sinabi pong majority ay pwedeng related terms po ay more than half of the total.
Yeah, exactly, 'di ba? Pag sinabi kasi natin majority, it's more than half. So kung ang interpretation natin is majority of the class got 24, ibig sabihin kalahati, more than sa kalahati. And nakita natin tatlo lang naman. Kaya usually pag pinapa-interpret ko ang mode, hindi natin palagi gagamitin majority. So you can make use of the bilangin natin kung ilan yung model score and then we say 3 students get a model score of 24. Okay? So, although in one of the conferences that I've attended, ginagamit nila yung majority to interpret the mode. So, kinestyon ko sila actually, why do you use the word majority in interpreting? Eh, hindi naman nga siya more than half. Hindi nila sinagot. So, since hindi nila sinagot, hindi nila ako na-convince na gagamitin yung majority. So, instead, you just mention kung ilan yun may mga estudyante na may kaparehong score na ganun. Okay, so standard deviation, this is not much. Although may mga iba kasing in-interpret ang standard deviation, this is 14 units 14 units away from the mean, mga ganyan nga. Pero I don't like this to be interpreted in that way kasi it's very technical. So might as well just give the value, wag na lang siyang i-interpret. And then you have your 90th percentile, although I'll be discussing fractals later. Ang 90th percentile, this divides your data kasi into 100, okay? So, 90 over 100. So, ibig sabihin, when you interpret that, if the 90th percentile is 44, ibig sabihin, 90% of the class scored below or equal to 44. Okay, again, you look back to the data. Go back to the data. And then, minimum of 8, ibig sabihin, the lowest score obtained is 8. Maximum 49, the highest score obtained is 49. So this is how you simply interpret the descriptive measures. Okay? Ayan. And then if you determine, ma'am, normally distributed ba yung data ko or hindi? So ang result ng Shapiro is 0.406, ang Andersen 0.392, ang Kolmogorov 0.187. Pero sabi nga natin, di ba, since ang sample naman natin is less than 50, so we make use of the Shapiro. And from the value, ang decision rule natin is data is normally distributed if the value of, itong pinakita ng value nito, itong 0.406, that's the p-value. If the p-value is greater than 0.05. Okay, so we conclude na the data is normally distributed. Okay. So, anong implication if data is normally distributed? Ibig sabihin, wala tayong extreme value. So, pag wala tayong extreme value, okay, in case there are extreme values, they may be very few and the presence of it do not affect the mean. Okay, kung nga titingnan nyo to, ma'am, hindi ba extreme value yung 8? Pwede siyang mababa yung value niya, low value siya, pero hindi niya naman maaapektuhan. Sabi nga dito, in case there are extreme values, they may be very few and the presence of it do not affect the mean. Okay? Ayan. Among the measures of central tendency, the mean can be used over the median in describing the data if your data is normally distributed. And of course, it will allow it warrants us the use of the parametric method. And for the test of homogeneity of variances, we use the Bartlett's. And of course, if data is not normal, we use the non-parametric, and the Green's test is used for homogeneity of variances. Ma'am, bakit may mga homogeneity of variances ka pa? Kasi po, pag gagamit na po tayo ng t-test o kaya ANOVA, if you're going to compare 2 groups or 3 groups, 2 or more groups of data, isa po sa mga assumptions, ibig sabihin, isa sa mga test na kailangan natin gawin bago tayo mag-apply ng parametric or non-parametric, hindi lang test of normality, but also test of homogeneity of variances. So may dalawa po. Yan dalawang assumptions check. Ibig sabihin, kailangan mag-undergo muna yung data natin in those 2 tests before natin siya i-subject for parametric or non-parametric test. Okay, so skewness, sige, discuss ko pa rin, although hindi na to masyadong ginagamit for analysis. Another way of describing your data is by determining its skewness. Ang skewness daw, pag ang value mo is 0, ang skewness is 0, ang assumption niyan is, ang implication niyan is, pag sinabi natin symmetric, normally distributed. So, values are concentrated, wala tayong extreme value, and magkakalapit lang po yung mean, median, and mode. Okay? So, pag ang data po natin merong extreme value, ang data natin would either be positively skewed or negatively skewed. Ang positively skewed po, mas dakul itong mga presence of, mas dakul ang bulk nasa may left side ang bulk, dakul kitang low values and then you have the presence of extremely high. Ang negatively skewed naman po, dakulon kang mga high values, tas you have the presence of extremely low value. So that's skewed. Positively skewed, you have extremely high value. Negatively skewed, you have extremely low value. Ayan. Okay, so ito po yung nasabi ko kanina, yung 90th percentile. So sa percentile po, nagre-range lang po yan from 1 to 100. Okay, so ako po ang nag-a-assign kung anong kukunin yung percentile. Kung 90th percentile, 80th percentile, 95th percentile. Okay? Okay, how do we interpret percentile? For example, nakakuha po kayo ng rating nyo sa, kunwari sa LET, ano ko nga doon, 85 percentile. It doesn't mean na naka 15 mistakes po kayo. So, ibig sabihin yan, if you receive a score of 85 and 85 receive a rating of 90th percentile, ang 85 mo po dyan ang raw score, ang equivalent niya pong percentile is 90th percentile. How do we interpret that? Ibig sabihin po, 90% of the scores are below or equal to 85. So, ibig sabihin, 95, mas halangkaw po ang score din doon duman sa 90% na nag-take ng exam. So, nakasama po kayo dun sa top 10%. Okay? So, 90% of the scores are below or equal your score. So, take note po of the word below or equal. Okay, and also we have the decile. Decile divides your data into 10. Magre-range lang po yan from 1 to 10. Hindi po pwede magkaroon ng 11th decile or 12. Hanggang 10th decile lang po siya. Okay, so IRAS score of 73 receive a rating of 7th decile. So ano po yung equivalent niyang percent? Pag 7th decile, 7 over 10 is how many percent? We have 70%. Okay, 70% of the scores are below or equal to 73. And then lastly, quartile divides your data into 4. If IRA score of 80 receive a rating of third quartile, ilang percent po yung third quartile? 5.
75.
Oh, kasi 3/4. Yan. So, 75% of the scores are below or equal to 80. Okay? Lalabas po ito sa exam. Okay, so that's your fractal. So again po, ulitin lang natin, pag normally distributed ang data, and data is either interval or ratio, ang ginagamit natin dyan is parametric method. Pag data natin is not normal or categorical ang data or nominal or ordinal, we use the non-parametric method. Babalikan naman po ining konseptong iniyo pag nag-inferential analysis na po kita. Pati rin po ito. Okay, kasi may mga counterpart po yung mga parametric methods sa non-parametric. So, kunwari ngayon, ugahan mong data, tapos lumabas na hindi pala siya normally distributed. So, kung magko-compare ka ng dalawang groups of data, akala natin magti-t-test tayo. Eh, ang lumabas sa test of normality, hindi pala siya normally distributed. So, ibig sabihin, hindi kayo pwede mag-parametric. May mga counterpart po yan. So, kung t-test, akala nyo magti-t-test independent kayo, ang counterpart kaya would be Mann-Whitney-Wilcoxon test. So, non-parametric. I-discuss na po yan, Gabus, pag nag-inferential analysis na kita. Okay? Ayan. Sige. Babalikan ko po kamuta bago tayo mag hands-on. Okay? Sige po, question po so far. Question so far. Sige, siguro po I'll give you mga 3 minutes na break kung gusto po niyo mag-CR or mag-inom ng water. Sige, 3 minutes lang po. And then we start with the demo of the Jamovi. Mabilis na, super bilis lang po yun kasi madali lang pong gamitin ang Jamovi. Sige, 3 minutes pong break. Okay, so pwede nyo na pong i-ready yung Jamovi ninyo, open nyo na, and then open nyo na rin po yung Excel nyo. Okay, sige po, we're 26. Ito po yung while habang dapat pala break, pero ito po yung mga nasa Google Classroom. Kasi baka i-check ko lang kasi baka po meron sa inyo na hindi ko pa dito na-add. Okay, so we have Angelica Bea, Mary Ann Bordeos, Alfonso Bragais, Grace Bergo, May Ann Kapukaw, Michelle Constante, Geraldine Quadrante, Janine Custodio, RJ Davillo, Jessamay Demesa, Mary Charmaine Despacio yata to. Cindy Garrido, Judy Ann Jardine, Julie Manuel, Reynan Shine Martinez, Lara Sheen Moso, Casey Joy Nacario, Camille Nase, Mary Grace Olgina, Myla Palima, Artemio Rapallo, Mary Ann Subong, Juniline Presvalles, Agnes Valenzuela, and Maria Teresa Yebra. Okay, meron po akong hindi natawag. Siguro pa-type na lang sa chat box. Okay. Kasi baka meron pa akong hindi na-add sa ano natin. Okay, sige po. I'll continue. Pa-thumbs up na lang po if ready na to proceed. Thumbs up na lang po kung ready na to proceed. Okay. Ayan. This is ano po, this is recorded. So just in case may gusto kayong balikan na procedure dito sa Jamovi, babalikan na lang po natin. And then, kung may questions po, kung may question po, mag-butt in na lang. Kung pwedeng, wag nyo pong i-type sa chat box kasi hindi ko po siya mababasa pag naka-share screen po ako. Okay. Okay, so first po yung data, ano? This is the sample data. Ito po yung actual na tally data pag nag-conduct kayo ng survey and then you're going to tally it na. Diba? Usually, you tally it in this way. You have the respondent number and then you have this variable. Suppose we have 5 variables. You have the gender, region, types of behavior, behavioral scores, social responsibility score. Okay. Palagay na natin na kunwari, ining behavioral saka social responsibility. Kasi actual data ito, nakuha ko to dun sa isang conference. Okay lang naman na gamitin tong data. Pero hindi ko kasi natanong kung, assume na lang natin na itong behavioral score is quantitative. Hindi ko alam. Baka interval yata to or ratio, whatever. Pero yung gender, of course, gender, region, types of behavior. Gender is, ano po yung level of measurement nito ng gender? Nominal?
Nominal po.
Yeah, okay, nominal. What about the region?
Nominal.
Nominal. And also your types of behavior is nominal. So, ibig sabihin, pwede lang tayong, i-assume na lang natin na ang behavioral sa social responsibility is either interval or ratio. So, mako-compute lang po natin dito na descriptive measures would be the behavioral score sa social responsibility score. Later, we're going to show how are we going to arrange this gender, region, and types of behavior. How do we organize this into a table or graph? Okay, so take note class, dito po sa Excel natin, dapat yung first row natin, first row should be the variable name palagi. Automatic po yan. Pag import ta na sa Jamovi, the first row will appear to be the variable title. So, ang ibig sabihin ko po kang variable title, yun na po ng gender, region, types of behavior. Okay? So, yan. Tapos, dapat initially naka-open siyang ganyan. Okay, so let's open our Jamovi. Okay, open nyo po yung Jamovi nyo. Para at least sabay-sabay po kita. Ayan. Okay, nakita na po yung Jamovi ko?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, sige. First step. So, ang first step natin, class, is kukunin natin yung data. Okay, ang maganda sa class sa Jamovi kasi it can import data from Excel, from Google Sheet, from, kunwari, may na-save kayo sa SPSS, sa Stata, sa SAS, pwede niya pong ipasok dito. Okay, so, upper left, yung tatlong lines po sa upper left, okay, at least, siguro may background na rin po kayo nito kasi, di ba, ginawa natin to dun sa, nung nag-factor analysis tayo. So, upper left, upper 3 lines sa left. Okay, open lang po natin yung data. So, hanapin lang natin, browse nyo lang po, click browse, kasi hanapin nyo kung saan nyo po sinave yung data nyo. So, sample data, open. Tapos, lalabas na po siya dyan sa left side. Actually, mas gusto ko magturo ng software pag naka-synchro ako kaysa pag naka-onsite. Kasi, yan. Okay, sige po. Mag-butt in na lang po ako, medyo mabilis ako. Ayan. So, una natin gagawin is, ide-demo ko muna po dito sa behavioral score. Kukunin natin yung mga descriptive measures. So, una, okay, we have already the data. Kindly click na sa upper left in exploration. Tapos, descriptives. Okay, ulit. Upper left, exploration, tapos descriptives. Okay. Ayan. So, initially po, may makikita kayo dyan sa screen niyo yung descriptives, tapos variables na box, walang laman. Split by, walang laman. Sa right side, wala ling laman yun. N, missing, mean, median. Okay? So, I want you to click dito po sa lower part sa my left side yung statistics. Ayan. So, i-check po natin yung descriptive measures na gusto natin mag-appear sa right side. Maybe we can uncheck na the end, tapos missing. Okay, uncheck na natin siya. And then, kunin natin mean, median. Okay, click na rin natin yung mode. Sa dispersion, click natin ang standard deviation, minimum, maximum. Tapos, sa baba, normality, kindly click Shapiro. Okay? Ayan. So, tingnan po natin ninyo ulit yung nasa left side. Ang nakaklik po sa central tendency, mean, median, and mode. Sa dispersion, standard deviation, minimum, maximum. Sa normality, Shapiro-Wilk. Dagdag po natin sa percentile value. Percentiles, gawin nyo pong 90th. Kukunin natin yung 90th percentile. Originally, ang nakalagay po dito, 25th percentile, 50th, and 75th percentile. Kunin po natin 90. So, palitan nyo po yan ng 90. Ayan. 90th percentile. Okay. Okay na po. Okay, tapos, ang kukunin po natin ngayon is the behavioral score. Okay, so yung behavioral score, dito sa left side, parang i-click nyo lang po siya. Pag naging bluish na siya, i-right arrow nyo siya dito sa variables. Ayan, so automatic po, maluwas ang mga values niya dito sa right side. Okay, so ito na po yung i-interpret natin. Ayan, okay? So, ang gagawin nyo lang po dito, class, ang gagawin nyo lang po dyan is, kunwari gusto nyo doon makuha ining mga nasa right side. Sige, check po natin if you have the same value. Sa mean is 4.17, median is 4. Same with the mode. Standard deviation is 2.6. Minimum is 0, maximum is 13. Shapiro-Wilk, ang i-interpret po natin dito is the Shapiro-Wilk P. Okay, P. Less than 0.001, and then the 90th percentile is 8. Okay, behavioral split lang po ano. May ginibon na po kaya ako din sample output. Okay, sige po. Okay lang, sorry Paki-click po ulit yung behavioral score sa variables. Bako kaya siya sipiglag ko sa sample output. Paki-click po ulit. Ilabas natin. Instead, ang kunin po natin is the social responsibility score. Kunin po natin social responsibility score, tapos pasok niyo po sa variables. Ayan. Ayan. Okay? Ayan. So, yan. Yun na po ni si mean. So, mean for, pareho pang median. Mode is 2. Standard deviation 2.75. Minimum is 0, maximum 14. Shapiro P is less than 0.001, and then 90th percentile is 8. So, kunwari po, yun na po ni si output nindo, and then gusto niyo siyang i-copy sa Word, kasi syempre gagawa kayo ng discussion. Hindi po sa may bandang result, lagay niyo lang po dyan yung cursor niyo, tapos right-click. Punta kayo dito sa result, i-click niyo siya, tapos right-click, and then all. Tapos copy. All, tapos copy. And then, mag-open lang po kayo ng Word. Tapos, i-paste nyo lang siya dyan. Actually, na-paste ko na kaya digdi sa baba. Kaya, gawin nyo na lang siya sa Word. Okay, it's gagawa nyo na natin siya ng discussion. Interpret natin siya. Bala na kayo maglagay ng title. Ang nilagay ko kasi dito, extent of social responsibility. I'm showing you this one kasi ito yung sample output natin. So, dito sa activity, ganito po yung ibibigay niyo sa akin. So, you provide, of course, we provide the interpretation for the different values. Okay, so how do we interpret the mean, median, mode? Sabi natin dito, to interpret, basahin ko na lang, the respondents were characterized by obtaining their social responsibility score. The results show that the average social responsibility score is 4. Half of the respondents scores less than or greater than the median of 4. Majority of the respondents have social responsibility score of 2. Although hindi ko na nakita kung gaano karami yung may 2 dito, I use the word majority kasi wala siyang number of kung ilan. I make use of the word. Parang it's more than half naman yata. Anyway, the lowest score obtained was 0 while the highest score was 14. So 90% of the respondents, this is actually interpreting na your 90th percentile. Kasi di ba, usually sabi daw, pag ang first word mo sa sentence is naka-numerical, you have to spell it out. So 90% of the respondents have social responsibility score less than or equal to 8. Kasi yun po yung lumabas dito. 90th percentile is 8. Shapiro-Wilk is less than 0.001, is less than 0.05. Therefore, your data is not normally distributed. Hindi po siya normally distributed. So the value of Shapiro-Wilk implies that the data on social responsibility is not normally distributed. Thus, there may be presence of extreme values. Okay? Ayan. Okay, so madali lang, di ba po, paggamitan ng Jamovie, i-click na lang kung ano si gusto ng descriptives, tapos yun na po si maluwas na value sa right side. Okay? Tapos kung gusto po nindong as is ang result kayan sa right side, as is, di yan mawawara. Kasi minsan po kaya pag nag-isip nga kita na bagon si data, kung naisip ng bagon si data, gusto tangaya, kunwari, gusto tangaya is behavioral score. Ay, sorry. Yan, behavioral score, pigla utang nga dyan. Automatic nawara na si result nindo sa social responsibility. So, kung gusto nindong bago ulit, kung ito bagang si result katong social responsibility, yan pa manggiraray sa right side, ay babalik ko ulit. Okay, social responsibility. Ayan. So, pag nag-appear na po si result sa right side, arrow down nyo lang siya, tapos mag-click lang po kayo sa baba niya sa lower part, bago mag-references, mag-click lang po kayo para yung previous na output, hindi siya mawawala. So, ulitin niyo lang po yung process. You go again to exploration, descriptives, and then this time, you input na behavioral score. Pasok niyo lang po dun sa variable window. Tapos siguro, uncheck nyo na lang yung ayaw nyo. Tapos yung mga kailangan natin na values, i-check natin ulit. Shapiro. Ayan. So, makikita niyo po dito sa right side, nandoon pa rin yung result ng social responsibility. Dumagdag lang yung behavioral score. Okay? Yan. Yan po yung gagawin natin for numerical data. Okay, sa numerical data. Paano naman po, ma'am, yun itong data ng gender, region, saka types of behavior? So, i-demonstrate ko lang po yung isa dito, yung qualitative, yun sa gender. Okay, so punta ulit tayo dito sa right side kasi idadagdag na lang natin yun sa qualitative na variable. So, may dalawa tayong option. It's either you use the Jamovie or you use Excel. Ang i-require ko lang po sa inyo sa quantitative is just to show the graph. Okay, the graph. Dito po sa Jamovie, isang graph, type of graph lang naman yung pinapakita niya, bar chart. Okay, so how do we do that? So, dito po sa right side, click po ulit kayo ng space dito sa baba. Ayan, tapos punta kayo sa analysis, tapos exploration, and then descriptives. Okay, so since ang ipasok po natin gender, okay, syempre yung gender natin is qualitative, syempre walang lalabas din ng mga mean, median, and mode. Punta kayo dito sa statistics. So uncheck po natin siya lahat. Uncheck natin siya lahat kasi hindi naman siya quantitative. Ayan. So, ang gagawin nyo lang po is, pag napasok nyo na yung gender dito sa variable, sa lower part po kaya nagwang frequency table, yun po yung i-check ninyo. So, you can show that pwedeng variables across column, means nasa left side, or pwede man pong variables across rows. Yan, ganyan. Columns, anong pagbaba? Ayan na, okay na yan. Okay, so makikita nyo kung ilan yung female, ilan yung male. So, ito po yun. So, it's either you show it in table, or pwede naman po, sa left side, i-arrow down na, scroll down, tapos i-click nyo po yung plots. Click nyo yung plots. And then, click nyo po yung bar plot. Bar plot. Tapos, lalabas na dyan yun. Ayan. Lalabas na po yung graph. So, isang type of graph lang kasi. Unlike kaya sa Excel, na pwede nyo siyang i-explore. Diba? Pwede kayong mag-bar chart, pwedeng pie chart. Okay, ayan. So, again, if you want to copy this one dun sa, ano yan? Sa Word, same process pa rin. So, ganyan siya, descriptive. Tapos, right-click nyo lang, tapos all. Tapos, copy nyo. If you want this to be copied, if you want the result of this under sa qualitative ninyo. Okay? Copy nyo lang dun sa Word. Okay? So another option is to use the Excel. Okay, sige. Sino pong marunong dito ng gumagamit po ng pivot table? Sino yung familiar po sa pivot table? Siyempre, hindi ko makikita, di ba? Kasi hindi naman kayo hindi kayo naka-screen share. Sige, sinong familiar sa pivot table? Thumbs up daw, si familiar sa pivot table. Okay, sige, wala. Pero nakikinig pa naman kayo sa akin. Sige, paano nga ng heart kung nakikinig sa akin? Heart na lang. O sige, kasi baka mamaya. Sige, balik tayo dito sa, yan. Turuan ko kayo ng pivot table. Ano po? Okay, although ang concern lang naman natin is the gender, region, saka types of behavior kasi yan po yung qualitative, pero i-highlight na natin that. So, highlight nyo po lahat. Simula dito sa gender, hanggang social responsibility. Highlight nyo po pababa. We have actually 300 respondents. Highlight nyo lang po siya. Okay, pag na-highlight nyo na, click insert. Tapos sa left, pinaka-left po may pivot table. Pivot table. Pivot table, click nyo yan. Ayan. Ulit ha, highlight. Tapos click insert sa taas. Tapos sa pinaka-left pivot table, click nyo lang po siya. And then initially po, naka-default yan sa new worksheet. Okay nyo lang. Ayan. So pag anong ginagawa ng pivot table, nagigibo po siya ng frequency table. So, para din na po kung masakitan magbilang kung ilan ng male, ilan ng female. Okay? So, sa right side po kayan, gender yung gagawa natin. Yung gender, ang tawag dyan? I-drag nyo lang, yung gender po, i-drag nyo lang siya, i-check nyo yung gender, tapos drag nyo lang siya pababa. Okay, nakababa na siya. Andi dito siya sa rows. Okay? Gender, i-drag nyo lang siya dito sa baba, sa rows. And then, same variable yung gender, i-drag nyo lang siya pababa dun sa values. So, dapat may lumabas dyan, count of gender. Kasi may mga choices kaya dyan, may count. Yung count po ang pipiliin natin. So, you will notice po dito sa left side, lakihan ko, maluwas na ni. So, female, 174, male, 126, grand total, 300. So, this is using the pivot table. Ayan. Okay? Tapos, gawan lang po natin ng graph. So, insert sa taas. Tapos, bahala na po kayo kung gusto niyo ng bar chart. Ako usually pie chart ang ginagamit ko pag gender lang naman. Tapos dito sa pie, pwede na kayo pumili kung may 2D pie, may 3D, may donut. Ako, let's say, gamitin natin 3D. Yan. Ayan, ito yung initial na itsura ng 3D na pie chart ng gender. So, pagandahin nyo na lang. So, paano natin mapapaganda? Kunwari, dito sa total, gawan nyo na lang ng title. Classification of respondents according to gender. O kaya, gender of the respondent. Gender distribution of the respondents. Bahala na po kayo kung ano gusto nyo yung title. Of the respondents. Ayan. Nag 1 hour na tayo. Sorry Ngayon lang naman tayo mag-exceed. Gender distribution. And then, di ba, walang nakalagay sa pie. So, kung gusto nyo, dito sa may plus sign dyan sa right side, kung gusto nyo nakalabas yung mga data labels niya, kung pira or percent. So, dito sa data labels, may arrow dyan. Kung hindi nyo ako nasusundan, you can just watch kasi recorded lang naman to. More options po. Tapos, yan, naka-click initially ang value sa show leader lines. Click nyo na rin po yung percentage para lumabas yung percent. So, mas maganda. Yan. Tapos, ano pa ba? Okay na yata to. Bahala na kayo kung gusto nyo pa siyang pagandahin. Alam ko mas magaling kayo sa akin. O, kunwari, satisfied na ako nito. Yan. So, pwedeng, pag pick-copy ko kaya ining mismong graph na din, nagluluwas ining count of gender. So, usually, ang ginagawa ko, ini-snip ko na lang siya. Okay? So, kung meron kang, sa tingin ko lahat naman tayo may snipping tool. Diba? Search nyo lang dyan sa baba, snipping tool. Snipping, kahit snipping lang. Yan, maluwas na yan. Gabos man ka mo sa link ko, gabos yan. Tapos, click nyo lang yung new, tapos snip nyo na siya. Yan, snip. Okay? Yan, snip nyo, tapos copyhin nyo siya doon, ilagay nyo siya doon sa Word. Okay. Lagay nyo siya sa Word. Papakita ko tong sample output ko later. Ayan. So, meron ako dito. Yan. Ilagay ko na siya dito sa Word. Ayan. Tapos, ginawa ko na lang description. Or, pwede naman po class. Yan. Pwede naman class na hindi lalabas ito sa taas itong count of gender. Ginawa ko kanina na hindi siya lumabas. Ang ginawa ko is, anyway, again, pwede nyo ulit ito pagandahin. Di ba? Yan. Wait lang ha. I'll make this smaller. Given this, yan. Dito sa, yung plus sign sa taas, yan. Pwede nyo baguhin kung ano gusto nyo nakalagay. Tapos dito sa may parang paintbrush, again, pwede kayong pumili kung Danindo trip yan. Gusto nyang ito, may background na dark color. Bahala na kayo. Kasi usually, pag enough naman yung time natin, pwede pa naman natin mapaganda yung presentation. Bahala na kayo pumili kung ano dyan ang gusto niyo. Okay? Pwede kasing hindi lumabas itong count of gender sa upper left. Okay, so ang ginagawa ko na lang is, ina-highlight ko yung table. Tapos insert. Pag ginawa mo yun, insert tapos chart. Usually, wala nung count of gender na lumalaw. Meron pa rin. Okay, sige. Basta snip nyo na lang. Anyway, discover nyo na lang kung paano siya hindi lalabas. Ayan. So, ano po yung ina-expect ko na output sa inyo? Okay? Ito, sample output lang naman ito. Kasi dun po sa activity niyo, if you have seen that already, papakitaan po kayo ng hingin sa inyo yung profile of the respondents. Dito kasi, ang pinakita ko lang yung gender. Pero I think in your activity, you have gender, job status, educational attainment, and length of service. 1, 2, 3, 4. So you have variables to use para ma-describe yung respondents. So ganito po yung magiging itsura ng sample output. Profile of the respondents, of course, it should contain the 4 variables. Ito po yung gender lang. It should have 2 to 3 description dapat kasi hindi po lahat ng reader ninyo are visual learners. Ang iba po, hindi tumitingin sa figure. Ang iba, mas gusto lang basahin. And then the second part of your activity is that you're going to, how will you describe the job performance and job satisfaction of the employees? Numerical na po ni. So, duman sa numerical na variable, you will have to compute for the mean, median, mode, minimum, maximum. So, sa sample output ko po, itong extent of social responsibility, of course, you should have your description again. Again, kung pwede pong wag yung kopya na ito in toto, okay? If you can construct it in different way, alam ko mas creative naman po kayo kaysa sa akin. So this is just a sample. So pakita nyo lang po dito, copy nyo lang dito yung output dun sa Jamovi, yung descriptive measures, tapos interpret nyo na. Of course, palagi pong kailangan merong interpretation ng mga values. Okay? Yan, nakalagay na po dyan. Although nilagay ko po sa instruction na ang result ng Jamovi ilagay sa appendix, pero kahit hindi mo nyo muna po siyang i-append, kahit doon na siya mismo sa discussion ng result, like kamukha ni po nito. Okay? So, bibigyan ko po kayo ng copy ng sample output. Okay? Ayan. So, yan po. Sige po. Babalikan ko kayo. Ayan, sige. May question po. Questions or clarification? Wait lang